Is that what happened in Oklahoma? Here in the Oddfellows Cemetery lies businessman Finis P. Ernest. He died at the Veterans Administration Hospital, Oklahoma City, in 1960. It's a long way from the lands of voodoo, yet Ernest's doctor, James Mathis, believes his patient was killed by a curse, and that his death certificate gives only part of the story. Ernest suffered from asthma, and visits to his mother seemed to trigger the attacks, as Mathis realized after allowing him out of hospital one weekend.
This was the first hint that we had that perhaps we were dealing with something a little bit more than just ordinary asthma. So a week later, on August the 17th, we gave him the same sort of pass, but this time with some different instructions. We said, please do not visit your mother. Go in the opposite direction. Go to a motel, and if I recall correctly, he actually went back to the place where he was born, a little town west of here, about 150 miles. Came back a late Sunday evening with a story from his wife, perfect. No wheezing, not a shred of difficulty. Well, this sort of clinched it, we thought, and in his own mind, he began to see that something was wrong, but perhaps he didn't get the physiology exactly correct. He said, it looks like I'm, quote, allergic to my mother, unquote.
Finis Ernest had been running a busy nightclub in downtown Ponca City, but by 1960 he was bored and decided to sell up. His mother was the partner in the business, and she was furious.
This man's mother was looked upon by him as infallible. He pointed out to me time and time again that mother had never been wrong. Every time she had predicted something, it came true. For example, she had predicted that his first marriage would fail. It failed. She predicted his second marriage would fail. It failed. She predicted his third marriage would be successful. It was successful. The business was the key. When he mentioned selling it, sometimes about a year and a half before the final outcome, she adamantly said no, in no way. And her words, according to him, were, something dire will happen to you.
The memory of their last weekend together is cherished by his widow, Josephine.
This last weekend that I had with him at the down to Oklahoma City in the motel, and we just had a marvelous time, and he just seemed like he could never be ill again. Until he decided that maybe we'd better go by and see his mother. And we did, and after we went by to see his mother, it wasn't but a few minutes till he started having this breathlessness, and I knew it was a sign of an attack. And I had to hurriedly call the hospital and tell him that I was afraid that he was having another attack and we'd be bringing him in.
Once over the attack, Ernest told Mathis he was going ahead with the nightclub sale.
After our session at 5:30, he called his mother and said, in essence, the doctor and I have talked this over, and I have decided to reinvest my money. And he was going to reinvest this money in a business that did not need mother. And he said, we will not need your advice. She listened to him politely, apparently, and said, son, have I ever been wrong? And he said, no. And she said, what did I tell you? Well, he said, you said something dire would happen to me. She said, it will. It will.
Within the hour, Finis Ernest was dead.
I really believe that last call, telephone call, conversation with his mother contributed directly to his death.
Autopsy showed no heart attack, no stroke, none of the usual causes of death. That's why we call it a sophisticated version of voodoo death.